In this tutorial, I'm going to give you an overview of a web tool called Nearpod, which is a great presentation tool that allows you to integrate slides and activities like polls, quizzes, and drawings into an engaging lesson. It also allows you to pace your students through the entire lesson, so you can control what they see and what they do and increase on-task behavior. At any point throughout your lesson, you can also share high-quality examples from students anonymously to the whole class. If you're interested in getting started with Nearpod, go to nearpod.com and register for an account. I recommend, if you have a Google Apps for Education account, signing up at the bottom with the blue button that says Sign up with Google. Once you've logged into Nearpod, you'll be taken to a dashboard that looks like this, with all of your different menu options. My Library will take you to a place where all of your previously created presentations are stored. Explore will allow you to see Nearpod presentations created by other users. Join will allow you to join a session, in which case your students will click on this button in order to join your particular lesson. Create will allow you to get started and begin a new presentation. And Reports will allow you to see the data that you collect from activities like quizzes and polls throughout your lesson. Let's get started by pressing the Create button. Here on my dashboard, all of the presentations that I previously created are saved. To get started, you can either click on the Add Presentation button or the New Presentation button at the top. By default, when you create a presentation, Nearpod inserts some slides at the beginning and end of your presentation. If you do not want these slides included in your presentation, you can simply select them and press Delete Slide. That way, the only content that will be part of your presentation will be slides that you yourself have created and inserted. At the top, begin by naming your presentation. Nearpod requires a title before you'll be able to publish your final product. Once you have a title, you can begin adding slides. Click on the Add Slide button, and you have two different types of options for slide types. If you choose to go with Add Content, you can add basic content on a stationary slide, a slideshow, or a video. Let's start with slide to give you kind of an overview of what this is like. If you want to, you can create a slide from scratch, inserting text and images here at the bottom in order to start with perhaps a title for your presentation. If you go to Image, you have various sources where you can pull images from, whether that be a basic Google search, browsing the files that you have saved on your computer, or if you have a Dropbox, Box, or Google Drive cloud storage space that you can pull different files from. It tells you some available file types here, different image and PDF files, as well as PowerPoint, zip, and PNG are compatible. So I'm going to browse through my files and find a picture that I can add to my slideshow. I can add text on top of this slide. And when I'm done, I can press Save. Once I'm saved, that slide will be added to my presentation. I can move on and add additional content. This time, I'd like to add a video clip. If I add a video clip, I also have various sources. You'll notice that there's an orange banner across YouTube that says Free Trial. This is a subscription-based option, so if you want to include free videos, you'll have to either upload a video file from your computer or from one of these different cloud storage options. These are the supported movie file types if you choose to insert a video into your presentation. One thing to note about adding videos to your Nearpod presentation is that all your students will need earbuds if you select this option. Reason being that Nearpod will put the video on the student's screen all at the same time, and unless you want all of their computers playing the video at once out loud, you'll want them to all have their own earbuds so that they can hear the video from their own computers. Another option that you have is to insert a slideshow, which is slightly different than slide. With a slide, you're adding one specific slide with content on it, and you can paste onto the next slide at your own rate. If you choose slideshow, you're basically uploading an entire presentation of slides, and the students will have the ability to flip through them the way they would an ebook. If you would like to allow them to do this, you can upload an entire presentation from your computer. If you have such as like a PowerPoint already saved, keep in mind that it does take quite a while for presentation slideshows to process fully, so they won't be available immediately once you upload the slideshow into your presentation. These are the free available content types that you can insert into Nearpod. Audio and PDF viewer, along with this live Twitter stream, are all subscription based. So these are not options unless you have the paid for version of Nearpod. So if you didn't want to add content and instead you wanted to embed an activity after one of your slides, you can go to add activity, and you have 4 different activity types. So maybe after your title slide you want to ask a poll question. So if you click on poll, you can enter your question. You have some math equation editor tools here if you wanted to insert some math characters into your question or your answers, you could. You can also click on add image here, and you can upload a picture to go along with your question, and then enter your answer choices below. If you need additional answer choices, you can click on add answer, and more available answer choices will show up below. When you're done asking your question, press save, and your poll will be added to your presentation. I'm going to go to add slide again, and this time I want to show you the difference between the poll and the quiz. They look very similar, but there is one difference. So like the poll, you can insert a question and answer choices here below. You still have the ability to insert images as well as math characters. The difference being, if you're uploading a quiz activity, you can mark which of the answer choices is correct by clicking on one of these little check boxes next to the correct answer. You can also move on below and add additional questions and answer choices to have a full quiz in the middle of your Nearpod presentation. So beyond poll and quiz, you can ask an open-ended question. Very simple, just simply type in your question here, add math characters and images if you want, and the students will be able to type into a empty box and submit their answers, and you can move through all of their open-ended responses. And finally, the last activity that you can add is called Draw It. And if your students are using tablets, they can use the tablet screen to draw a picture. You can give them some instructions or some sort of background that you want them to draw on. If they don't have tablet computers, they can also use just the touchpad on their laptops in order to attempt to draw something here. So these are some different activity types that you can embed in between your content slides. And basically, once you have all of your slides added, you can drag and drop them in whatever order you want them to appear throughout the presentation, and you will be able to pace your students through this presentation. And this presentation will be displayed on their computers at the same time it's displayed on yours. So I'm going to go back to some presentations that I've already created, so you can see them. This is what a finalized presentation in Nearpod might look like. So this is a stationary slide. This is a full slideshow. So The students will be able to flip through these slides in any order that they want without any structure. This is a video clip, a poll, an open-ended question, and a drawing activity. When you finish editing, in order to actually share this with students, you'll need to press the publish button at the bottom. And once it is published, you'll be ready to share. So to actually share this presentation with your students, you will go to this More link, and you will want to start a live session. Once you start a live session, Nearpod will give you a 5-digit PIN. This PIN is what you'll want to give to your students that will allow them to sort of enter your Nearpod session or lesson and follow along with you from their computers. So to show you for demonstration purposes what this might look like, I'm going to pull up another browser window and show you what it would look like to log in from the student's view using this live session pin, and you will be able to see how the lesson will progress through with the control from the teacher's screen. So when your students go to nearpod.com, they will see an option at the very top that says Join Session, and by clicking on that, they can enter that 5-digit PIN. And they will be taken to the first slide within your presentation. Now, from your teacher screen, you are able to control by expanding the bottom panel down here. On the bottom, you will see all of your slides, so you'll be able to progress through and decide when you're ready to share a particular slide with your students. So I'm going to share this welcome screen with students and ask that they log in with a nickname. And from your screen, you will see that update with your students as they join your session. And at this point, I'd like to move students on to the slideshow. So I will select the slideshow, share it with them, and all of their screens will change. And now the students can rotate through this slideshow at their own pace without needing to be progressed through by the teacher. You do not have to have this teacher screen displayed for students to see. You can simply be controlling this from your computer and be, teaching your lesson separately, however you want. And this could just be in the background for the students on their screens, just to kind of keep them on task and progress them through your lesson as you see fit. So if we moved on to the video, which I won't do at this moment, and I pressed share, the student screen would change to the video clip and it would start to play automatically. So at this point, you would want your students to have their earbuds in. I will now ask a poll question, and the students can submit their choice and send their full response. And then on the teacher screen, you will see this colored wheel sort of change color depending on the percentage of the class that answered a particular way. And then once you've received all of those poll responses, you have a share option at the top. So by sharing this, it actually lets the whole class know how their class as a whole responded to this poll question. If we shared now a short response question, the students can type in their answer. And they can send it. And right here on the teacher screen, they could look through and see all of their students' responses. And if they read one that they liked in particular, they can press share, and the whole class can see that student's answer. It does not show the student's name, so it's anonymous, and it allows you to really use the student, keep the students accountable for their work, and make them think more about their responses, knowing that you could potentially share their response. And finally, here I will show you what it looks like to share a drawing question. So students have some drawing tools here at the bottom that they can use, and they can draw a picture and send it. And on the teacher screen, it will update with the student's drawings. So that is the basic, kind of a basic overview of what it looks like to create and control a Nearpod presentation. And then once you're done, what you could actually do is go to the top and end the session, and then see some reports as well. And get those reports emailed to you so you have that data from some of those quiz questions that you may have asked. So hopefully Nearpod looked interesting to you, and it's something that you could really use with your students to keep them engaged in your presentations.